CBS Sydney, CBS Friday, 8/7 Central.
Fire Country is all new CBS Friday, 9/8 Central, and streaming on Paramount Plus.
We'll have some bitter to extremely cold temperatures and wind chills into tomorrow morning here, and then things start to modify by later on in the day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, we'll have the latest on the plane that ended up upside down earlier today during a flight from Minneapolis to Toronto. Plus, protests pop up at state capitals around the country over the Trump administration's policies. A group also gathered in downtown Marquette today. And Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist was in the Upper Peninsula this past weekend, meeting with education leaders and UP representatives to talk about education. We'll have the details. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
She's a cold one to start out the day, and temperatures will try to get close to double digits by the afternoon, but the strong winds will continue to affect the area through the day with some lake effect snows east of Marquette and along the western shores, but everyone else looks like maybe low teens at best for your highs. With some single digits as well. Things will be warming up later in the week. Well, more details later in the show. Kevin?
Tom, thanks very much. 17 people are hurt after a Delta Airlines plane flipped over while landing at Toronto's airport this afternoon. A child is among the injured. Wendy Gillette reports on what happened.
We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
John Nelson posted this video on social media just after the crash that captured the scary and surreal scene.
Most people appear to be okay.
Flight attendants and passengers helped others on board crawl out of the upside-down aircraft. Medical helicopters and ambulances quickly responded. Firefighters sprayed down the plane right after it crashed. Delta Flight 4819 was operated by Endeavour Air en route to Toronto from Minneapolis. The airline says 76 passengers and 4 crew were on board.
There was no loss of life. And this is in due part to our heroic and trained professionals, our first responders at the airport.
The airport was shut down for several hours, but then resumed operations. Delta canceled all flights to Toronto for the remainder of the night. Weather could have played a factor in the accident. At the time, there were wind gusts of 40 miles per hour and blowing snow from 2 feet that fell in the past week.
Having flown in Toronto many times, it is challenging with the winter conditions. You have to be on top of icing situations, both for the runway, also for the aircraft. They're going to be looking at wind shears, possibly. Anything that could actually have turned the aircraft over like that.
The Transportation Safety Board of Canada will lead the investigation, with U.S. teams assisting.
Delta has activated its Passenger Inquiry Center for families of those on board. President Trump is pushing forward on 2 very big foreign policy plans to end one war and stabilize a peace deal in another. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with the Saudi Crown Prince Monday to discuss peace deals to end the wars in both Gaza and Ukraine. This is Rubio's first Middle East visit as Secretary of State, as he seeks support for President Trump's controversial plan to resettle Palestinians so the U.S. can redevelop Gaza. Rubio met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the weekend, and a bipartisan group of senators was in Israel Monday.
The one thing that President Trump has done, he started a discussion that was long overdue. I think the Arabs have woken up, hey, we need to find a better alternative than what's been said.
The Trump plan is a non-plan. It's a hot mess. The possibility of takeover by the United States is a non-starter.
Rubio and other Trump administration officials are expected to meet with Russian officials in Saudi Arabia Tuesday for talks to end Russia's war with Ukraine. Ukraine is pushing for a more active role in negotiations.
Україна про це нічого не знала.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said his country was not invited, and any deal made without Ukraine will not be recognized. European leaders who have been shut out of negotiations met in an emergency session in Paris Monday.
This isn't just about the front line in Ukraine, it's the front line of Europe and of the United Kingdom. It's about our national security.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said he was willing to put British troops on the ground in Ukraine to help enforce a peace deal.
French President Emmanuel Macron, who convened the meeting of European leaders, held a 30-minute phone call with President Trump today to discuss the talks between U.S. and Russian officials set to get underway in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday. Residents in downtown Marquette took their stand on President Trump in light of this month's President's Day. On the corner of 3rd and Washington, around 50 protesters gathered at noon to express their frustration. The protesters are in strong opposition to President Trump's continuous major executive orders. Similar to earlier this month, these were part of the 50-51 movement involving 50 states and 50 protests across one day. Those participating in Marquette say they're proud to be a voice for their community.
There are people out there who care about everybody in this country, and you know, if you don't have the ability to do something like this, to know that there are people out there who agree with you, and we're not all standing idly by.
The movement plans to continue their mission with more protests in the future. Protesters braved the frigid temperatures as well today in Lansing. One report claims there were over 100 people that showed up to protest the president's latest executive orders and immigration policies.
The education ones are the scariest, the cuts, whether it's funding for MSU or I don't know if you have, but we know people that have had job opportunities taken away because of the funding cuts that have been tried to be implemented. And we know a bunch of them are on pause thanks to judges, but we haven't yet to really see that enforced or stopped completely. So,
President's Day is the second National Day of Action. Governor Garland Gilchrist attended Marquette Algerisa's legislative breakfast alongside many UP representatives this past weekend. The breakfast serves as a space for educational leaders to voice the wants and needs of teachers and their students. Our Trevor Forsyth has more.
Recently, Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist and several other UP legislators met with educational leaders at Marquette Algerisa's annual legislative breakfast. The goal of the breakfast is to connect educators with legislators so that the needs of students and teachers can be better addressed. Superintendent of Rudyard Schools, Tom McKee, expressed that many UP educators have similar goals.
Yeah, I think as a region, as the UP as a region, we have pretty similar goals across the board, whether you're from Rudyard or you're from Ironwood. You know, the goals are making sure our kids get equitable services and are given the best. Collectively, the UP would like to see some more support in some of our students that have additional needs, whether that is day treatment centers or just providing the resources that all of our kids need. You know, at the end of the day, we're responsible for every kid that walks through our door. We need the support to be able to provide what they need.
After the meeting, State Senator Ed McBroom shared his thoughts on the dialogue.
I think we recognize the complexities of the jobs of our educators and their leadership, the complexities of us at the state, and the complexities that we have here in the UP. We have to really sit down and maybe change some of the paradigm about how we think about the future of schools in the Upper Peninsula. And that's a harder, broader discussion and forced everybody to say, well, who's going to lead that? How are we going to start that?
Reporting from Marquette, I'm Trevor Forsyth, WZMQ 19 News.
Tom DeVecchio has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, we'll have the latest on the Pope's health as he remains receiving treatment in the hospital. And we'll hear how smartwatches are giving people a better ability to monitor their heart health. We're back in 2 minutes.
Need to refresh your kitchen? Get an 11% rebate on the whole project at Menards. And add the finishing touch with your 11% rebate. How will you spend your rebate?
Save big money at Menards.
Up
Update your home with new GE appliances from Kirkish Furniture and Houghton. GE appliances are built to last, have print-resistant finishes, and offer high performance with energy efficiency. Kirkish has a large selection for both kitchen and laundry. Free delivery and 0% financing.
Buckle's Party Store. It's where the party starts in Calumet with an awesome beer selection featuring domestic, foreign, and craft brew beer, a great selection of wine, just about any kind of liquor you want, and a great range of tobacco products. Buckle's Party Store in Calumet. It's where the party starts for everyone.
Here's a business looking for a customer. Here's a customer looking for a business. And that's where the Better Business Bureau comes in. The BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. That's why 80% of people choose BBB accredited businesses over non-accredited ones with the same A+ letter rating. Live happily, better after. Always look for the sign of a better business because it's looking out for you. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. 3, 2. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget,
Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
That bitter cold temperatures, well, it's going to continue through Tuesday here with wind chills still staying well below -10 until probably midday on Tuesday, and then they'll gradually subside here. That'll lead to some light snow, though, later Tuesday night and into Wednesday. The lake effect will continue to rule well east of Marquette out toward Newberry and along the western shores of the Upper Peninsula as well. So for the kids, bitter cold start as they head back to school. After President's Day, for some of you, bitter cold temperatures down below 0 when they go home in the afternoon. Close to 10 degrees for your highs here, but at least it will be on the dry side. Again, this is Marquette. Things will be different, perhaps, for those of you out toward McMillan and here on the western shores. That northwesterly flow, classic look. And what we're finding here, while the winds go more north as we head on toward Wednesday, we'll have fairly steady state winds. That means the direction won't change a whole lot. So when the lake effect bands form, they're going to hang here for the balance of tonight into Tuesday. You see not much change here and starts to diminish on the western shores. But these eastern bands will actually traverse a little bit west for Tuesday night. That will bring some of the lake effect into Marquette. No heavy amounts expected this time. We'll check it out, though. But some pretty good amounts are expected in the persistent bands through tonight and into tomorrow. 6+ inches in the heaviest bands, while you can see here in Marquette, barely 1/10 of an inch of snow here, while Covington to areas along the western shores, we could have locally 3 to 6 inches as well. But again, outside of these localized heavier bands, not a whole lot of snow is expected as we head on through Tuesday. In the meantime, the wind chills are going to be pretty cold here, well in the -teens for the balance of the night and into tomorrow morning. But as the winds die off a bit during the afternoon and evening now, as you can see, wind chills drop. Marquette still very cold, -5, but sure beats -18. And we should see those wind chills gradually subside here. So cold for tonight. You saw where the lake effect bands will fall. Not much here in Marquette. Into tomorrow, we'll try to get into the lower teens here from Marquette with the lake effect continuing. Newberry and out toward Lawrence and into the western shores of the Upper Peninsula. Wednesday, mid-teens, some snow bands coming back into the Marquette area, but not big amounts, as you can see, keeping it at 40%. Early flakes on Thursday. Nice warm-up for Friday, and we could get above freezing, maybe 2 days in a row, perhaps, for the end of the weekend and into early next week.
Tom, thank you. There are new concerns for the health of Pope Francis. The Vatican says his respiratory infection is complex, requiring more time in the hospital. John Paul Gonzo has more.
When Sue Van Wassenhoef took a few falls at home, her children bought her a smartwatch to track her health.
I have some other health issues, but I have sleep apnea.
And one of the things that's great is that this measures my heart rate and my breathing during.
Pope Francis is spending his 4th day in a hospital in Rome as he battles bronchitis with his illness now described as complex.
Certainly wish for him to get better very quickly. You know, he is our father and our shepherd, and so we want his continued health.
Tests have revealed the 88-year-old is sick with a polymicrobial infection of the respiratory tract, requiring a change in his treatment and a longer hospitalisation. The Vatican says he is in good spirits and was able to eat breakfast and read newspapers Monday morning. The Pontiff's last public appearance was on Friday. Pope Francis, who had part of his lung removed as a teenager, suffered a bout of bronchitis in 2023. Back then, he was released from the hospital after 3 days.
No worries, but I hope that he's getting really good care and we'll be back soon.
The Pope's schedule has now been cleared, with his weekly audience on Wednesday cancelled. He remains in a stable condition.
It's not clear how long Pope Francis will remain in the hospital. The Vatican says he will require an appropriate hospital stay. This Heart Month, wearable technology like smartwatches has made it easier for patients to monitor their heart health, sleep, diet, and exercise. But a new survey shows many patients are not sharing that critical data with the one person who should be in the loop, their doctor. Michael George reports.
When Sue Van Wassenhoef took a few falls at home, her children bought her a smartwatch to track her health.
I have some other health issues, but I have sleep apnea. And one of the things that's great is that this measures my heart rate and my breathing during the night. So I wear my watch 24/7.
So when the device flagged her heart rate was dropping several times at night, the 78-year-old made an appointment to see her cardiologist.
I got the alert with this great big exclamation point in yellow that I had gone below the danger zone, that I have it set. I told her that.
A new survey finds 2/3 of Americans use a device regularly to monitor heart health, with the smartwatch and portable blood pressure machine most popular. But just 1 in 4 share that data with their doctor, something Dr. Lakshmi Mehta with Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says they should be doing.
These devices can give a lot of information. They're looking at their heart rate. If the heart rate is less than 50, that's going to be a cause of concern. Or if the heart rate is above 100 and you're sitting there relaxing, that's a concern as well.
While the technology is helpful, Dr. Mehta cautions it's not foolproof.
Heart rate and heart rhythm have been really tested and are much more validated, but there's other things like the oxygen level and temperature that data can vary a bit. Technologies are not to replace the visit with a physician.
Sue learned her smartwatch can capture an EKG, and the results can be sent to Dr. Mehta through her electronic medical chart.
That's just invaluable. It's a great way to participate in my health care.
And that gives her and her family peace of mind.
Doctors say since the devices have the potential to catch health issues earlier, patients may want to discuss any changes they see with their doctor sooner rather than waiting for their annual checkup. Still to come on your 19 News, the Peter White Public Library hosts a new program focused on online safety. We'll hear what tips they have for seniors after this.
Instant games from the Michigan Lottery. With dozens of games to choose from and millions of dollars in prizes, it's instant fun for everyone. And try our newest exciting games with $195 million in prizes.
I'm Sophia Murphy, 19 News, helping you better understand what's happening here at Michigan State Capitol, only on WZMQ 19 News.
South African sensation Tyler on The Jennifer Hudson Show. And we've got a surprise for her. Plus, what's the wildest DM you've ever received? Shake it or share it. I don't know if I can say it on TV. Then a little Justin Bieber.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6.
I thought it was just a rash, but it had a bullseye ring around it. My doctor said it was a tick bite. Luckily, we caught it early.
Ticks found in tall grass around your home can spread Lyme disease and other illnesses, which can lead to chronic health issues. The CDC estimates nearly 500,000 people across the country are diagnosed with Lyme disease each year.
I didn't understand why my brother was having so many asthma flare-ups. Sometimes he couldn't breathe. Turns out a roach problem at home was triggering it.
Allergens left behind by dust mites, roaches, and rodents are a major driver of asthma attacks, especially in children.
When I had a fever, body aches, and fatigue, I never thought it would have been West Nile virus. All it took was a mosquito bite while gardening.
Mosquitoes spread West Nile virus and many other diseases, and they can breed in standing water around your home. Protect your family from pests. Get the facts at pestworld.org.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. Americans are facing an uphill battle when it comes to managing rising debt burdens. In some cases, they haven't been this overextended since the aftermath of the Great Recession. Ivan Rodriguez breaks down the latest credit conditions for American households and tips for paying off debt.
Americans are struggling to pay off their debt.
Nobody should be surprised that debt is rising.
A new report by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York shows all major loan categories are on the rise, with credit card balances topping $1.2 trillion, up more than 7% from the fourth quarter of last year. Matt Schultz with LendingTree says while some higher levels of household debt were to be expected because of inflation, it doesn't mean it isn't troubling.
We found that about a third of people took on debt over the holidays.
Two categories where Americans are struggling to manage their debt: auto loans and credit cards. The share of households becoming seriously delinquent, meaning missing a payment for 90-plus days, are at 14-year highs.
That car payment is often one of the most prioritized when bills come due. And when that one is not being paid, that's probably a sign that other struggles are around as well.
Schultz says there are some steps people can take to get ahead on paying down their debt.
First thing that they should do is create a budget. You can do things like getting a 0% balance transfer credit card or a low-interest personal loan to consolidate some of those loans and bring the interest rates down.
At most major retailers that sell food, you can scan your own items and never talk to a cashier. But there are signs it might have gone too far, and now some stores are bagging self-checkout. David Wade reports.
It's a retail riddle. What's convenient, but also a pain?
Help is on the way.
Where you pay
$99
to work. It's self-checkout, and some love it.
It's quicker. 100% quicker.
While others loathe it. What do you think of self-checkout overall?
I think it sucks.
An item isn't going to scan right. If you have a greeting card, the weight is all off, so they have to call somebody over.
For stores, it's supposed to be a cost saver. For customers, a time saver. But we may be at a crossroads. Some are now scaling back. Target recently told me we're rolling out express self-checkout with limits at 10 items and opening more traditional lanes. Walmart's saying it will improve the in-store experience and give our associates the chance to provide more personalized and efficient service. One of the big motivators for tweaking things is theft, as shoppers simply scan one item and then skip another.
And people aren't shy about admitting they'll help themselves at self-checkout. 15% of consumers admitted they purposely steal when ringing up their own items. And 44% of those people say they'll do it again.
So how do you prevent theft and keep shoppers happy?
We don't have any self-checkout lanes in any of our stores.
Not one in the 90 stores.
That's correct.
Joe Schmidt is the director of operations at Market Basket, which has 90 stores in Massachusetts.
Just got a response the other day from a customer that came in to say, please don't ever do self-checkout.
Experts say over time, new technology will make self-checkout better and more secure, which means it's never going away completely.
What's the key to getting it done without having to call for assistance?
Lower your expectations.
And that may be the best advice.
Throughout the spring, the Peter White Public Library will be holding free cybersecurity clinics. In partnership with NMU and the Upper Peninsula Cybersecurity Institute, the library is welcoming community members to take part in their 3 cyber clinics happening over the next few months. Tonight, they held the first clinic for seniors, discussing the dangers of scammers as well as ways to keep data and passwords protected.
Unfortunately, senior citizens are targeted because they are considered to be more wealthy, more trustworthy, and it's really a plague that's gotten out there.
Other cyber clinics include a family version on March 17th and an AI cyber clinic on April 21st. If you're looking for a better night's sleep, it might start with a better diet. Lots of Americans are tossing and turning the night away. The National Institutes of Health says 50 to 70 million struggle with sleep disorders. About 1/3 of adults don't get enough uninterrupted sleep. That's where your diet may be the best remedy. A new book called Eat Better, Sleep Better says the trick is eating more fiber and less saturated fat. That means more fruits and vegetables, plus nuts, including walnuts and pistachios, along with seafood. Also, stick to whole grains and try not to save your biggest meal for dinner.
It's a vicious cycle, or a healthful cycle, depending on how you look at it, right? So how you sleep at night influences what you choose to eat during the day, the next day. When we have poor sleep at night, we often tend to gravitate over more snack-type foods, less healthy
Muffins,
foods.
definitely muffins for me.
Higher fat, higher sugar, typically, right? And those types of foods tend to lead to poor sleep at night.
Another tip is looking for foods high in tryptophan. That includes turkey, which is why people may get better sleep on Thanksgiving. 3 sisters look for a miracle. Woody Harrelson races against time to save a deep-sea diver, and CBS celebrates Black History Month. Donnie Bacchus has your entertainment headlines.
Deep-sea divers race against time to do the impossible in the new film, The Last Breath.
Chris, on me. What happens now? Your umbilical. It's gonna snap. I will come back for you.
Based on a true story, the divers battle raging elements to rescue their crewmate trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean surface. The Last Breath, starring Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole, hits theaters February 28th.
Hi, sisters. You said it was just the 2 of us. I needed you both here to walk Abuela's pilgrimage.
After years of estrangement, sisters reunite in search of a miracle in Las Tres Sisters.
I need a miracle. I am having marital issues with my husband.
What? Wait, what? The 3 sisters join together to complete their grandmother's pilgrimage through rural Mexico. With no map, no hiking experience, and their lives unraveling, the sisters look to repair their relationship and find the miracle at the end of the trail. Las Tres Sisters arrives in theaters Friday. And CBS celebrates Black History Month with a celebration of Black excellence in television.
I think she's a hero. I'm here because of her.
On TV, a Black History Month special shines a spotlight on Black actors who are forging a path in daytime and primetime television. CBS stars like Morris Chestnut, Cedric the Entertainer, and Wayne Brady share their personal stories and reflections on their time in the entertainment industry. The 1-hour news special, hosted by Entertainment Tonight's Kevin Frazier and Nichelle Turner, airs tonight on CBS and streams on Paramount+.
Now don't go away. Tom DeVecchio tells us about what our morning commutes are looking like with a final look at weather when we come back.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
The IRS has collected over $1 billion in past due taxes this year, and they're aggressively targeting more taxpayers. Don't wait until the IRS comes knocking. Our team is here to help you resolve your tax debts before things escalate. Every tax situation is unique, and so is our approach. We tailor solutions to fit your specific needs, giving you the personalized attention you deserve. The IRS has resumed collection enforcement. Don't wait until it's too late. Our team can help you resolve your tax issues before liens, levies, or passport restrictions kick in. Behind on filing taxes? We specialize in getting you back on track by filing past returns and negotiating with the IRS. Does the IRS claim that you owe money that you don't have? We fight to lower your tax debt to an amount that you can afford. United Tax Fix. Expert help, personalized service, and the peace of mind you deserve. Call 800-203-3198. That's 800-203-3198.
I'm Sophia Murphy, 19 News, helping you better understand what's happening here at Michigan's state capitol, only on WZMQ 19 News.
Some places talk about being local, but we actually are local. Our family started Superior Collision 18 years ago, and we're still the ones who own and operate it today. No big company name, no outside investors. We are all Marquette, and we're going to stay that way. We are part of this community, and we are proud of the work we do. You can choose to go to a corporate body shop, or you can stay local and go to Superior Collision, Marquette's local hometown body shop.
Direct.
Don't you ever look up at the sky and roll your eyes. You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
He holds the line.
I resent it, and I resent you for doing it.
Mathis Court is in session.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS.
Lake effect snow bands will be going at a pretty good clip here toward McMillan, Newberry, Munising, and west of Covington. But everyone else, including Marquette, not much snow for tonight. And you can see into tomorrow, the lake effect continues in those same areas. 6+ inches are possible in the heavier bands out east, and maybe 4 to 6 out toward the western shores. But in between, again, here in Marquette, hardly any snow to be seen as we head on toward Tuesday, while we could get a bullseye of close to a foot in the higher hits just northwest of McMillan. In the meantime, those wind chills are going to be on the cold side here, staying in the minus teens through tomorrow morning, then gradually tapering off, modifying a bit as we head toward Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. We're in the mid-teens on Wednesday. Some snow showers will slide back into Marquette, maybe a couple of inches here. Try to get to freezing on Friday, and that trend should continue into the weekend and into early next week. Kevin?
Tom, thanks again. Finally tonight, it's a cross between a wolverine and a pit bull. A skull found in Egypt could reveal clues about a prehistoric predator that had cat-like teeth and the body of a dog. Researchers say they've uncovered a nearly complete skull of a bastodon, a powerful predator that was on top of the food chain 30 million years ago. The skull indicates the carnivore had a short snout, sharp teeth, and a strong bite. They also say the species was the king of the tropical rainforest in prehistoric times. Now, scientists are trying to dig deeper into why these powerful animals disappeared. That's all the time we have for tonight, folks. We'll catch you again tomorrow at 6/5 Central.
Blades Bait and Tackle and Little Beatty Knock. They've got rods, reels, cases, walls full of tackle and lined by the spool. Even more rods, hand augers, of course electric ones are cool. Tip-ups, heaters, boxes, sleds, and electronics to get you on the bite. Shacks to buy or rent for the day